Hey guys, my name is Steve Dolan. I'm the owner of Steed's Tech, and I'm going to kind of explain what the newest addition to the Banshee VGT controller is. So, the Banshee VGT controller controls turbochargers. It's also the same controller as my benchtop tester. It's a multi-function controller. I can make it do pretty much all kinds of stuff, including controlling up to a 5-cylinder gas engine. So, my newest project has been a 68 RFE out of a Dodge 6.7. So the same controller I use to control turbochargers and my benchtop tester for turbo shops to actually repair turbos, I'm now going to let you put in your truck to control transmission. So right now I'm doing a 68. I plan on doing Allison's, the 69 RC, pretty much anything I can get my hands on. What's really unique about doing this is, A, the installation is going to be awesome, but how you actually tune it. So there's no tuning required. I'm actually using, it's a bridge essentially. I'm using the factory TCU. So really all you got to do is you install the transmission, you're going to install the wiring harness, you're going to install the controller where it works best for you, fender well, side of the motor, anywhere where it's not directly on a tremendous amount of heat. And then really you got two variables you're going to have to update. One's going to be your throttle position sensor, and then the other one's going to be engine RPMs. So your throttle position sensor, all you're going to do is you're just going to have one wire. If you have a electronic throttle like on a Dodge or a Toyota, that's not actually a cable, right? So it's just electronic. You're going to tap one of the wires, the signal return to the ECU. Take your foot off the gas, right? You look at the voltage. You'll actually have a display inside the software that's going to say the voltage. So if it says 0.5, okay, cool. You're going to put 0.5, and then you're going to go full throttle, mash it to the floor. What's the full throttle voltage? It says 4.5. Okay, cool. Type 4.5, click save. That automatically, the controller is going to take that information, build the table for you, and then it's going to give you the output to match what this thing wants to see. Now let's just say you have a 5.9 Common Rail that you swapped into a Chevy or Ford, right? And it has an electronic throttle. So the end state is going to be, you program it for this, and then you're going to have an output from here that you can retune. So if you know what the Common Rail voltage is, and I'll eventually have a drop-down menu where I start mapping them out, you'll be able to map your your Chevy or your Ford or whatever you swapped into to the actual engine. So you'll have two separate tables in here that you're not tuning at all you're doing is telling what it is. And if you want to, like there's companies out there that sell voltage multipliers. This way when you tap the throttle, instead of 0% throttle, it's 50% or whatever, which I think is kind of ludicrous, but people want it. You'll be able to adjust that a little bit down, so instead of being like 4.5 being 100%, you can say it's 3 volts or whatever, and it'll actually increase the scale so it multiplies faster. But yeah, this is it. We just kind of wanted to make a video, get the information out there so people can start talking about it. Like I said, it's going to be Banshee VGT controllers. It has different firmware on it. The software actually goes on the processor. Repurposing it from turbochargers to basically being a bridge, and that bridge is then going to regurgitate analog data to the digital data. And then this thing's not going to be the wiser. It's going to actually think it's on that 6.7. K&S Diesel Conversions up in Canada, small shop. They're going to be the first ones to do it. And as a proof of concept, they're actually putting it on a 4BT that's inside of a Toyota Tacoma. That's pretty cool. I have a 2007 Dodge 5.9. I'm going to this summer, swapping onto there. But yeah, it'll go on anything you want it to do. Like I said, there's only 2 inputs that you have to add, which is going to be the throttle position and the engine speed. The engine speed doesn't matter if it's a square wave or AC sine wave. For the guys that don't know, square wave is basically a binary on or off, so it makes a square, right? An AC sine wave is basically a peak and a trough, so it goes up and down, and then as it accelerates, the amplitude goes up and it kind of shrinks in. You can tell the difference if you have a 3-wire or a 2-wire. If it's 2 wires, an AC sine wave, 3 wires, a square wave. The controller don't care. It can read them both. All you're going to do is just go through the settings. Go through your settings until you start getting RPMs. Add numbers for how many pulses you have. So if you have 38 pulses, you type 38. Click save, see if you can read it. If it doesn't, then you do pull up, pull down resistor, or turn that off. Then you have an active high and active low. Click save and just keep messing around until you actually get it. For the vehicles I already put my equipment on, like my Banshee controllers, there's actually a drop down menu. So you just click the drop down if you have like a 93 Dodge, or if you have a BP44 Common Rail, etc. You just drop down, click save. The controller knows what's up, and it's going to go ahead and do it. My goal is to sell these for not including the TCU. So the TCUs you can get on eBay. I have a pretty big feeling these things are going to go skyrocket once people start buying them and actually prove that it actually works, not just me talking about it. But my goal is to sell these for $800 or less. There's a couple other guys out there selling their controllers for like $1,600. Theirs use a PCS controller, so it's not what I'm doing. They actually try to program a PCS controller to do something that they themselves don't market it for, which that in itself should be a tall tale sign of, what they're using it for, right? But like I said, mine uses the factory programming. You can still get it tuned, all that stuff. But the goal is for about $800, not include the TCU. So we'll build a controller, we'll build a wiring harness, so you can put it in your truck. All you're going to have is like a relay, a fuse or two, wire to go to your ignition, and wires to go to the battery. Real basic installation. Everything else is going to connect to the transmission, and you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 wires that actually connect to the transmission, 2 wires connected to TCU, and like I said, 3 or 4 wires that actually connect to the truck, which is your power, ground, ignition start, and an ignition run, right? So very basic installation, no tuning required, which is absolutely awesome. You're not sitting there trying to read something that looks like Greek to most people that aren't actually professional tuners. And then, if you wanted to, you could still stack other stuff on top of it. So if you wanted to stack like the Copilot from ATS or whatever heck BD and all these other guys sell, you can still do that. It doesn't care. It thinks it's actually on the original truck. But then if you wanted to, you could just take the TCU, send it to a professional tuner and say, hey, look, I have a 12 valve Dodge. I haul a truck. I want more torque. I want more gripping force on the clutches. What do you guys charge? I guarantee it's going to be cheaper than the guys that use PCS. But yeah, this is it. Like I said, the next step after this one, like I said, I'll post a dyno video here next time I get some time off from work to actually go up to the shop and actually dyno it and actually show it running on a dyno. After this project, I'm going to do the AS69RC, same controller, just going to be a drop-down menu. After that, it's going to be the Allisons, same thing. All you're going to do is you're going to buy a kit. All the kits are going to come with the same controller. The benefit is I'm going to try to make it modular. And I mean modular by the wiring harness. So the part that connects to the truck is going to be one harness, and then that's going to have like, a Deutsch 4 pin or something like that connects to all this stuff. And then by doing that, let's just say, you have a truck, you're building it, you wreck it, or you change your mind, you want to sell it, you could sell it to anyone. Well, if they have a 68, 69, or an Allison, the whole goal is, hey, it'll work for all this stuff. Software's free, you can download it from a website. If you need a firmware update, same thing, it's free. The only thing that you would actually need to buy for, the change would be the actual wiring harness that goes to the TCU and to the transmission. But yeah, no, that's pretty much it. I'm super excited about it. I think it's a really cool project. Like I said, check out K&S Diesel Conversions up in Canada. They're going to be the first ones to actually put it on the truck. I'll probably be second, but once they run it for a while, make sure it's safe and it's not locking up the transmission. I heard of the other guys using PCS controllers. They're burning up the discs. The cool thing about doing mine is you're actually going to be able to read the temperature. You're going to read the pressure. You're going to know what gear you're actually in, all through the software. You'll know what the gear is of the transmission. And I actually have a YouTube video, I believe, showing me playing around to 69. It actually says second gear upshift to third gear downshift to second. It'll say torque converter unlocked, locking, locked, unlocking, unlocked. So I'm planning to get hopefully get the same functions out of this one. Let's see here. You'll be able to see hopefully the clutch wear in the software, so pull that data and display that so it's actually legible. You'll also be able to calibrate it. So if you get your transmission rebuilt, like this one obviously is a junkyard transmission, but if if it was actually in a 6.7, I pulled it out, got it rebuilt, put it back in there, you don't want to just slap it in a truck and drive. You actually want to tell it to recalibrate. So you're telling the ECU to go through some quick steps, and it just basically checks various functions of the transmission to find out the wear, and that gives it like a starting point instead of starting from zero. If it starts from zero, you end up burning up the discs, well, the clutch packs. But yeah, so you'll be able to hopefully see all that stuff. Like I said, I can already see it, and the raw data, it's just getting that raw data to where it's like a rural value that makes sense to people, right? But yeah, like I said, it's going to be universal. You put it on a gas engine, you can put it on a diesel, it doesn't matter. 12 valve, common rail. If you want to put it behind a Ford, get an adapter made for it, it'll work. The controller does not care. It thinks it's on a Dodge 6.7. Yeah, super excited. From what I've seen online, $800 is roughly 50% of what other companies are charging. The difference is you get a user interface with my stuff. You actually get real data with my stuff. Some of the data that you're going to see that my controller calculates is going to be clutch slippage. So you're going to know the engine RPM, and then I'm going to look at the input shaft. If you are locked, in theory, 900 RPMs here should mean 900 RPMs here, locked. If you're locked and you don't see that, you're going to have some slippage, right? So I want to calculate that and give you a percentage of what your slippage is. And then I'm going to look at the input and the output shaft, same thing, give you a slippage ratio. So if you're getting some funny, it's kicking, it's doing some weird stuff, give you some diagnostic capabilities where you can actually look at these speeds and adjust from it. You're going to be able to read the temperature. You're going to be able to read the pressure. I can even read the time. So I can't, right now, I haven't figured it out yet. I can't read how many hours are actually on the TCU, but I can calculate how many minutes and hours are actually on that current run time. So you turn the key on, it starts counting. And that's calculated by the TCU, not by my controller. Let's see here. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, man. There's a lot of stuff going on with it. Software's still going to be a little bit more fine-tuning. I'm still trying to pull that data out and make sense of that data. Just like I did with my whole sets, I can read tremendous amount of data with my whole sets. I can read just from the actuator itself. I can read the serial number of the actuator, the part number of the actuator, the total amount of hours on the actuator, how many times it's been powered up, the max temperature, the average temperature, the current temperature, the sense voltage. I found some other stuff out the other day. What was it? Man, I can't think. Part number, the actual part number of the actuator. Got that one. That's pretty cool. Plug it in case you get one rebuilt, and the guy says it was rebuilt, but really all he did was sandblast it, polish it up a little bit, put a new connector on it so it looks brand new. Plug it into my controller. It's going to say, "Hey, dude, you got 20,000 hours on this thing." Obviously not rebuilt. So my goal is to do the same thing with this, get all the information to you guys so you can actually see what's going on with the transmission, see if it's an issue with the transmission, issue with the engine, or some other variance of that, right? Yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Sorry for slurring my words a little bit. Been drinking all day, trying to work on this stuff, but yeah, thanks for watching.